Hello, this is Clean Coach Carly. I'm the staff nutritionist at Healthy Habits Living. I'm talking to you today about Energetix. This is the name of a company that makes a couple of different kinds of deliveries and formulations. So they first started with mostly homeopathic remedies, and I'll talk about those. Then they added some nutrients in sporadic form, which those are botanicals or plants, but a very specific and certain extract or part of a plant delivered in a liquid form. A little bit different than a tincture, but similar. And then of course they have standard nutritionals like their vitamin D3 and K2, and they've optimized that one and put it with liposomes so that it's easier to absorb, so that you can get those higher amounts of vitamin D3 in your bloodstream so that you can avoid SADs and bone deficiencies and immune disorders. So I first started actually using and recommending their homeopathics very early on when they were a new company, close to maybe 15 years ago. I love their drainage remedies, and homeopathic supplements are usually called remedies because they're remedying a specific set of symptoms or a symptom. So their top drainage remedies, the first one is drainage tone. The other one is hepatic tone. They have lymph tone 1, 2, and 3. They have colocord. Those I would consider their main drainage remedies. And then they have one that I like to pair with that, which is called rehydration. So first I'll tell you about rehydration. Why do you need rehydration if you're drinking water? Well, sometimes we are so mineral deficient and nutrient deficient that even when we're drinking high quality, pure water, we don't have the right balance of minerals in the extra and interior cellular water to get that water inside the cells. Or even to get nutrients inside the cells. So we can kind of be running around on chronic low-level dehydration. And some of the symptoms of that are dry skin, dry sinuses like mucous membranes, nose, mouth, lips, eyes, ears. And I often think of dehydration when I see that, and also fatty acid deficiency. So the rehydration is a combination of homeopathics that help to balance the inter and extracellular water inside and outside the cell and usher in those minerals and nutrients that we need in and out of the cell. So we can also be chronically holding on to water, but also be dehydrated because we have so much water outside of the cells because it's trying to buffer or water down toxins that are floating around in the system, whether that's in the bloodstream, in the tissue, or in the lymphatic system. And that can be another reason that we are running around, walking around, feeling dehydrated, even though we may seem very puffy and like we're holding on to a lot of water. We have a lot of water, it's just not in the cells. So rehydration helps to balance that and to facilitate getting water, minerals, and nutrients into the cells. All of these drainage and rehydration and lymph tone, all of these remedies I recommend that and Energetix recommends 30 drops 2 times per day. But I always recommend low and slow. So start with 2 drops twice a day with one remedy and see how you tolerate the shifts in your body. So rehydration is that rehydrating formula that I like to use in combination with drainage. So there's the drainage remedy, it's called drainage tone, and this is a general, I would say full spectrum homeopathic that helps drainage or movement of all toxins out of all organs. Okay? So I think it's a good, kind of covers all your bases. Then there's colocord, which is specific for the GI tract. It is specific for helping to remove toxins. It also has some antimicrobial properties. So we know that when we have too many microbes or the wrong kind of microbes in the GI, especially in the small intestines, that's dysbiosis. We're getting gas and bloating and fermentation and lots of uncomfortable symptoms, leaky gut, which leads to brain fog. So colocord is specifically if you are working on detoxification and you know that you have some GI issues that are impinging on your ability to detox out of the gut. So the other drainage remedy is hepatic tone. Hepatic is, we have our hepatic veins, which lead to our liver and gallbladder. So this is has homeopathic remedies specific for conjugating toxins, moving them from phase 1 to phase 2 or in and out of the liver. So I would love to say that, you know, we can detox without our livers, but that's just not true. So if you're doing any sort of detox, I also recommend the hepatic tone, especially if you have those, what I call liver and gallbladder symptoms, which would be pain in the right quadrant, a feeling of fullness or tightness in that right side underneath the right breast or chest, pain there, but also changes in the stool, like if they look greasy or discolored or yellow or greenish, that's a good indication that there's some issues with the bile or the liver. So hepatic tone for supporting liver as it drains or detoxes. The next one that I like is lymph tone. And this is also kind of supportive and talking about, kind of goes right along with rehydration. So when we tend to hold a lot of water, that's an indication that we're buffering toxins that we can't get out of our body. They keep recirculating, whether it's in the lymphatic system or the biliary system, the hepatic liver bile system, or if they're just in the tissues, in the extracellular water, and the body's keeping them there and keeping water there to buffer them so that they don't toxify us and make us sicker than we already are. So lymph tone I think is great to use in combination with rehydration because it's sort of addressing that same water and nutrient and mineral imbalance. That being said, you can also use lymph tone acutely when you have stagnant lymph, like for example, when you have swollen glands, when you have a cold or a flu or a sinus issue or seasonal allergies. So it's really used for as a standalone for those swollen lymph nodes, and we generally get them in the face and neck, but you could have them anywhere. So that's one that you can use on acute basis for short term for colds and flus, or on this long-term basis where you're working on a full body multi-organ detoxification. So like I was saying, Energetix started as this homeopathic company, and those 5 remedies, lymph tone, hepatic tone, rehydration, drainage, and colocord, are their kind of core drainage remedies. And I often recommend them in conjunction, or a few of them in conjunction with lymph tone and rehydration to address where we're having the most symptoms and the most stagnation. They're all recommended starting 30 drops 2 times a day, but start low and slow. Energetix also has those nutritionals like I mentioned. Specifically, I love their D3K2 because it's in liposome form, which means you're going to absorb much more of it, and that's going to help your vitamin D levels, your immune system, your bones. The one that I didn't mention that I also like for acute basis, and that's their sporadic botanical Calm 5. And these are, I describe them as flower essences because some people are familiar with that idea. It's clematis, rock rose, impatiens, star Bethlehem, and cherry plum. And this one can be used acute, so when we're having lots of stress, lots of anxiety, swirling thoughts. But it can also be used on an ongoing basis when we kind of just have that low-grade tenseness or stressness or anxiety or that chatter in the mind at all times. I would say that that's their highlight, their star in their sporadic liquid tinctures. Energetix has always been a kind of a leading expert in detoxification, so I always like to see what they are coming up with and following their research, especially on their homeopathic remedies. Here at Healthy Habits Living, we're always here to provide you with the most up-to-date research nutritionals and homeopathics and any kind of wellness product to assist you in your optimal health. We are here to help you get healthy so you can stay healthy and be healthy.